Are you enjoying the game today, too?
Welcome, everyone.
Today we are diving headfirst into an absolute monument of competitive chaos, a game so legendary it was known to literally tear friendships apart.
Oh, for sure. We are talking about the 1986 Famicom classic, Spy and Spy.
Or SRO as we knew it, released by a one and only Kemco.
And our mission today is to explore just why this game, which looks so simple on the surface, is actually this masterclass in Cold War strategy and cartoon violence.
It really is. This is a two-player competitive action game. It's you versus your best friend in a giant mansion, and the goal is just to ruin their day with the most devious traps you can think of.
It's all about information and pure betrayal. We've got the original SPY versus SPY comic strip as a source, but also the very specific lore that Kemco cooked up for this release.
So let's get into it. Let's unpack this frantic information battle.
All right, Section 1, the secret agents and their mission.
Okay, let's start with the agents themselves, because this is where Kemco just went completely off the rails.
They really did. In the Famicom version, the white spy is Heckle, and the black spy is Jekyll.
They just stole them from a completely different cartoon. I remember being a kid and thinking, wait a minute, it's such a classic old school Japanese localization move.
It's brilliant absurdity, and if you think the names are wild, the backstory they invented is even crazier.
Oh, it's not about geopolitics. No.
Not at all. It's corporate espionage. Heckle is a spy for Kemco, and Jekyll is a spy for a rival company called Tomco.
And what are they fighting over?
The blueprints for a new disk system developed by, and I love this, the gaming overlord Nintendo.
Nintendo. I mean, that is the most brazen satire imaginable.
And think about the timing. The game came out in April 1986.
Which was just 2 months after Nintendo's actual Famicom disk system launched in Japan.
Exactly. They were literally satirizing the spy games of their own industry in real time. It was a huge wink to the audience.
Okay, beyond that meta commentary, the real genius, the thing that made the rivalry so real, was the system itself.
Right. You have two spies. They start in this huge mansion, and they're identical in terms of ability.
But here's the game changer. The screen is split vertically.
Which was so rare back then. Competitive games were usually, you take turns, or you're on one chaotic screen like Bomberman.
But this was different. The split screen meant you could watch your opponent's every single move.
All the time. You could see where they were, what they were picking up, what they were doing.
I remember the pure excitement of that, having my own screen, but also the absolute terror because you knew your friend was watching you too.
Oh, yeah. You'd be setting a trap, and you just see their little sprite stop moving on their side.
And you just knew. You knew they were watching you, plotting a counter move. It was like having a hidden camera inside their brain.
That constant surveillance is the core of the strategy. The actual goal is pretty simple.
Yeah, collect 4 items. The blueprint, the passport, the key, and the dollar bag.
Get all 4, and then you just have to escape the mansion. Simple enough.
But there's a catch. You can only carry one of those things at a time.
Which leads to the bottleneck. You have to find that 5th crucial item first.
The bag. Or kaban, as we always called it. That little briefcase.
That bag is everything. Once you get it, you can carry all 4 main items at once.
So every match starts with this mad scramble for the bag. It almost always leads to an immediate, messy fight.
And when you run into each other in the same room...
Combat mode, instantly. You just start throwing punches.
Unless you were smart. There were 2 weapons you could find. The knife,
which had higher attack power, killed in like 4 hits.
And the club, or stick, which had longer reach but took about 6 hits to kill.
The real strategy, though, the thing I always did was item denial.
Oh yeah, the ultimate opening move.
You'd just run around and scoop up both the knife and the club right away. Leave your opponent completely defenseless.
It was pure psychological dominance from the very start.
And if you lost that fight, the penalty was brutal.
So bad. You're incapacitated for a while, you lose a whole 30 seconds from your timer.
30 seconds is an eternity in this game.
And almost all of your items, except the weapons you were holding, reset to where they started.
So if you ran into your opponent and you didn't have a weapon...
Running away was absolutely the best strategy, which is so strange for an action game.
It totally flips the script. The combat isn't the point.
The sabotage is the point.
Which brings us to the real heart of the game. The part that made us all scream. The traps.
The weaponry of sabotage.
Yeah.
You have an infinite supply of traps. They're incredibly deadly. And here's the key.
They work on you too.
Exactly. You have to remember where you put your own traps or you'll just end up destroying yourself.
It adds this whole memory game on top of the strategy. It's Brilliant.
And the Famicom version had 4 signature traps, each with its own counter.
Let's start with the one everyone spammed. The time bomb.
Right, because you didn't need a specific item to disarm it. You just put it down anywhere in a room.
The moment a spy walks in, their face turns blue, and you have, what, 2 seconds to get out?
2 seconds before you're just a pile of ash. It made hallways an absolute nightmare.
But for pure, calculated evil, you had the furniture traps, like the spring.
You'd put it in a desk or a cabinet, your opponent opens it, and they just get launched across the map until they hit a wall.
And just die. Splat.
And to disarm that, you needed the pliers from the little white toolbox.
Then there was the even simpler one, dynamite.
Same idea. Put it in furniture, they open it, boom, instant death.
And for that, you needed the fire bucket from the red fire case.
And finally, the most infamous one, the bucket of acid.
The bucket. You'd rig it on top of a door.
They open the door and it just drops on their head. Instant death by electrocution or acid. It's ambiguous.
And the only way to avoid it was if you happened to be carrying an umbrella from the umbrella stand. That umbrella became the ultimate item of paranoia.
It's interesting, the experts point out that other versions of the game had a wire gun trap.
Really?
Yeah, but the STC version deleted it. I guess they figured 4 ways to sadistically murder your friend was probably enough.
Probably a good call.
Okay, let's move into section 2. Evaluating the actual experience, the thrill, and the friction.
The biggest pro for me is just that rush, that deep psychological element.
Oh, absolutely. The moment you realize you can know exactly what your friend is doing just by glancing at their side of the screen.
It stops being a simple action game. It becomes psychological warfare.
Yeah.
You're dedicating like 20% of your brain just to watching them.
And the traps themselves, the payoff is so good. The death animations are just, they're so funny.
The black humor is perfect.
Yeah.
Getting flung across 3 rooms or just vaporized by dynamite. It gives you this unique, evil satisfaction when you pull it off.
And the atmosphere adds to it. The music is actually kind of melancholy and serious.
Yeah, it's not a happy-go-lucky tune. It feels like a real spy mission, which makes the cartoon violence even funnier.
Even the little details like the sound effects for going upstairs versus downstairs, it all builds that tension.
This is where we get to the big controversy of the game's design, the split screen.
It's the game's greatest strength, but it's also its biggest potential flaw. The tension killer.
Well, yeah, I have to challenge you on that a little. If I can literally watch you put a trap in a vase, doesn't that ruin the surprise? Isn't that just bad design?
That's the genius of it.
Yeah.
See, if you spend all your time watching my screen, yes, you kill the surprise, but you sacrifice your own momentum. Trying to watch both screens makes your own gameplay sloppy. You miss items, you walk into your own traps because you're not paying attention. It creates this perfect balance. The information is there, but using it costs you something.
That actually makes a lot of sense. You have to balance spying with your own mission.
Exactly.
But speaking of things that are unbalanced, let's talk about the thing that truly ended friendships. The hazing tactic. Trap stacking.
Oh, the sheer cruelty this game brought out in people.
Your friend dies, they're out for 30 seconds, and you just spend that time rigging their respawn room with 4 or 5 traps.
So when they come back to life, it's impossible to escape. It's not strategy, it's just pure, unadulterated griefing.
I remember someone putting an acid bucket on the door and then dynamite on the first piece of furniture inside. It was just humiliating.
It's so funny, you can tell the developers knew what they were doing because on some maps, they put a little fail-safe in.
What do you mean?
They deliberately place an umbrella stand right near a respawn point, just to give you a tiny fighting chance against the acid bucket.
A little life raft made of developer guilt. That's amazing.
But we do have to be honest about the problems. The game was incredible with a friend, but single player.
Oh, single player was just insulting. The CPU was so dumb.
So bad. I've seen reports, and I remember this myself. The AI would set a trap, leave the room, and then immediately walk back into it.
It would just kill itself over and over.
It's basically just target practice. There was no challenge.
Another big issue was map memory. The item locations were always the same.
Right. And the starting points were fixed for each map. So if you knew the layout, you knew the fastest route to victory.
Which also meant one player could get a map-based disadvantage right from the start, spawning way farther from the knife or the bag.
And speaking in strategy, there's the problem of trap monotony.
Oh yeah. Over time, everyone just started using the time bomb.
Because it was just the most efficient. Why bother finding pliers for the spring when a time bomb affects the whole room? and your opponent can't really counter it.
It meant that long play sessions just devolved into spamming time bombs everywhere. It worked, but it kind of killed the variety.
All right, Section 3, the aftermath and legacy. And what's really fascinating here is if you zoom out from the game to the comic it was based on.
The political origins, right? This is wild.
It's super high stakes. The creator of the original comic, Antonio Prohias, he was a Cuban exile.
He fled from Castro's regime.
He did. He was a political cartoonist who was critical of the government, and he created SPY vs. SPY as a direct parody of that experience.
Wow, so it's all black humor about these two identical forces just endlessly trying to destroy each other for no real reason.
Exactly. It comes from a place of genuine political satire, which makes the whole Heckle and Jekyll fighting for Nintendo feel even richer in context.
That's incredible. So the game itself, it was originally on home computers, right? Atari and Commodore.
It was, but the Famicom version is the one that really exploded in Japan thanks to all that localization work by Kemco.
And it was successful enough that they made sequels.
Yep, Spy and Spy 2, The Island Caper. On the Famicom, it was called South Seas Command, Spy vs. Spy.
And that one changed the setting completely, right?
Yeah.
To a tropical island.
Yeah, you were collecting missile fragments instead of blueprints. Same core idea, different theme.
Then there was a part 3 that never came to Japan, Arctic Antics.
And much, much later, that weird 3D remake for the PS2 and Xbox in 2005.
I remember that. It had 4-player online, but it didn't feel the same. It lost that simple, frantic charm.
Which brings us to the real tragedy of this game's legacy.
You can't really play it today.
Not easily. There's been no modern re-release, no virtual console version since the Game Boy Color port in 1999.
Why not?
It's almost certainly a nightmare of complicated licensing rights between the comic strip owners and all the different developers over the years.
That's such a shame. Because this type of intense head-to-head competitive game would be amazing today. Imagine streaming this. The rage would be incredible.
It would be perfect for it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's one last little weird tidbit for you.
Go on.
The creator of the original computer game later went on to work on the, let's say, controversial game Postal.
No way. Really?
Yeah. It seems the whole lineage of this thing is just rooted in black humor and absolute deviousness.
That makes perfect sense. So in summary, Spy and Spy is simple on the surface, but the psychological games and the strategy behind the traps make it this incredibly unique and intense experience even today.
Absolutely. The whole game is a masterpiece because of that one mechanic, being able to watch your opponent's screen.
We highly recommend you play it. If you can find a way, just, maybe with someone you don't mind not speaking to for a few days.
Yeah, please try to avoid the excessive trap harassment. It can do real damage to a friendship.
So, we have to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on.
Let's hear it.
If the genius of Spy and Spy came from giving players full information, the ability to see everything their opponent was doing, what modern competitive game could be totally transformed by adding that?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Imagine a fighting game where you could see your opponent's controller inputs in real time on the screen. How would the strategy change?
Mind games would be on another level. Think about that high-stress cognitive load while you're planning your next perfectly timed trap.
How will the game be fun tomorrow, too? Have a nice game.